Warning. The following video contains strong language that some viewers may find offensive or disturbing.
What's the most blatant case of favoritism you've ever witnessed? Way back in elementary school, I had 3 classmates, Kim, Kelly, and Christy, whose mothers handled all of our classroom parties. We always had an egg hunt around Easter. The 3 students who found the most eggs won chocolate bunnies. We had about 30 kids in our class. And all of us were to bring in 3 eggs to be hidden. The teacher would pull down the window shades so we couldn't look outside to see where the moms hid the eggs on the playground. Every year, from kindergarten through 6th grade, those 3 classmates always found the most eggs. Up to a dozen each usually, while the rest of us rarely found more than 1 or 2. Some never found any. The girls eventually confessed that their moms told them they would hide piles of eggs behind specific trees near the doors while telling the whole class. The eggs can be anywhere on the playground. One year, a boy found an egg that would have put his total in the running to get a chocolate bunny. He was told it didn't count because the moms didn't remember hiding that one. So the bunny went to Christy. My mom told my brother a very boring family secret and he told me. I mentioned it to her and she got pissed off and said he shouldn't be telling other people about that. It's just for family. I had to remind her that I am also a member of the family. At the end of our senior party that was organized for my school, they had a raffle with a bunch of expensive prizes. Every single parent who helped organize the raffle had a child who won big, and the main organizer had her son win the $2,500 grand prize with the not suspicious speech of, and of course, the winner of the grand prize is Charlie. Yeah, fuck that shit. I walked out with a $5 gift card to an ice cream shop that had already gone out of business. One of my classmates always got better scores on comparable essays in a high school literature class. I suggested it was favoritism, so we decided to write each other's papers to see what happened. Our study found that no matter who wrote the paper, if I turned it in I got a worse grade than if she turned it in. Had a stepbrother who was my same age. He asked my stepmom if he could spend the night at a friend's house and she said yes. I then asked her the same question and she said no. I complained that other kid got to go and said it was unfair. So she grounded me. That was 23 years ago and I'm still bitter. My nephew's school had 2 students who won a contest all by themselves. They got a chance to meet the Prime Minister and show their work. But at the last moment, the principal insisted to add his daughter in the team. My work bosses at my one job in college basically allowed their favorites to steal my ideas and take credit for it, or often yelled at me for others' actions I tried to fix. When I tried to explain myself, they never listened. Or I'll never forget the time 2 coworkers took all our equipment for the weekend when they were in another state for a convention, leaving me to use the bad camera to film the event. What did they get? A slap on the wrist. What did I ever get if I fucked up in the tiniest detail? Lots of shit, biased towards against my ideas but always using them, or making me feel like I never mattered when we worked together. Growing up, my stepbrother was obviously my stepmother's favorite child. He could get away with anything. I'm fairly certain she's never actually punished him for anything. And he was well aware of this. The most blatant case of this was when the nanny software on his computer caught him searching for porn. So immediately my stepmother goes after me, accusing me of going onto his computer to search for porn. When I was 16, my 13-year-old sister got a brand new cell phone. I never had a phone. And I still didn't at the time. I worked 3 jobs in college just to survive. My parents paid my sister's tuition, rent, and bills. They also got her a brand new car. I spent my college years working and using public transportation. My sister spent hers partying and going on road trips with her brand new car. When I graduated college, I got nothing. My sister got a brand new MacBook, which was stolen a few months later because she left it in her unlocked car. My mother constantly told my sister that she loved her growing up. My mother only said it to me once. In the context of, I love you, but I don't like you. I have plenty more of these stories. And, No, I don't speak with my parents or sister anymore. My friend is the middle child. He had to find a job when he was 16 to pay for his car by himself. Work full-time through college to pay for it by himself. And had to pay for his new house, and his parents didn't offer any help. In fact, they packed up all his stuff while he was at work and dropped it off in his garage and said good luck. While his siblings did not have to work in high school or college. Parents paid for their cars and paid for most of their college. When his older brother got a house, they offered to help pay. My grandma always yelled to my cousins. But she always pampered me and bragged about me to others. She didn't even try to hide that difference in treatment, and I hate it when that happened. Even the little child me recognized and despised it very much. Obviously my relationship with my cousins isn't good till now. My brother got everything he ever asked for. Brand new PCs or phones. His driver's license. A new car. You name it, and he got it all. Meanwhile I was wearing hand-me-downs. Had an old Nokia 3310, this was about when Apple launched the first iPhone, and had to work after school to afford getting my license. Paying for school trips and buying a PC for school. She still to this day denies favoring him. My French teacher would tell the class who she liked and didn't like, and would give the kids she liked extra credit just for being there. Came home from a night out while living with my parents when I was younger. Me and my bro, 4 years younger, didn't have a good relationship at that time because of the favoritism. I rarely go out, and I was having a beer with some friends. Came home about 1 a.m. at the same time as my brother, and I got an earful from Dad why I was home so late, and he turned to my bro with a smile on his face and said, "Hey. You're home early. Didn't have a good time?" And I was like, WTF. Things improved after I moved out, and now my lil bro is nearly my best friend. Grade 5 spelling test. A friend sitting across our group of 4 desks says something to me. Not even test related. I tell her, shish. My test gets taken away and I get a 0. She got to continue her test. So, for a while, my dad decided that he could get more work out of us if he got us to compete to be named his favorite. Basically the rules he laid out were that if you did something good enough, you were their favorite until someone else did something. And there was some kind of ill-defined benefit to being the favorite that he hadn't decided on yet. Fast forward a bit, and he had fucked up his company website because he was experimenting in the production environment like an idiot. He asked me for help. So I did. He didn't let me touch anything, and insisted I stand there while he fiddled with random controls in Drupal, hoping to stumble across the right one because he's afraid of reading logs. That took a few hours. Then he went to the bathroom and I checked the logs. Which led me right to the problem. So I fixed it. It definitely saved him time. Probably saved him money. And possibly saved his job. I was named favorite. 10 minutes later, my sister comes in from mowing the lawn, and now she's the favorite. It wasn't really a big deal. The only benefit of being the favorite for my brother and I was that he wouldn't insult you for not being the favorite. When I was favorite though, he still made fun of me for being at his beck and call. My sister got things like hugs and pats on the back when she was the favorite. But fewer when she wasn't. Shortly after the website incident, we all decided that the whole thing was stupid and agreed not to do anything special for him in the hopes that he'd forget about the whole thing. Instead he got angry that we weren't climbing over each other to do him favors. At first he just lowered the bar for good deeds. So we just stopped doing anything for him at all. He got pissed that we weren't competing. So he announced that my sister was favorite again because I didn't buy him a soda, and he wanted me to defend my title. Then he got angry that nobody cared. Then he sat in his chair and grumbled about that for a while. And he's mostly dropped it. Sometimes, he tries to bring it back. But it hasn't worked. So, lessons learned, my sister is, and has always been, the real favorite. If you want people to compete, there needs to be something they all want to compete for. Something about either collusion or collective bargaining. Depending on how you want to spin it. In any case, apes together strong. Ninja edit. Split a paragraph because it was long. Two AP math teachers at my school were married to each other and had a daughter who went to the school. They ran the math department. Each department would name a student for some kind of grant or scholarship. You'll never guess who they chose. There was a woman at my old job. She was an absolute talentless bitch with no social skills. She would constantly have a falling out with her coworkers because she was an annoying nosy idiot who couldn't keep her mouth shut. However, her husband was really high up. He was a senior manager and extremely good at his job too. So whenever his wife screwed the pooch and people started complaining to their union representatives, she got hopped from her made-up position to a brand new made-up position. Bullshit job posts like head quality assurer, spend all day sorting QA documents into folders. Head delivery expediter, spend all day sorting invoices into folders. Head of product definition, spend all day sorting project briefs into folders. And the like. All jobs which pay management rates, but which also could be done by a fresh business administration graduate for $10 an hour. The only saving grace was that her husband knew his wife was useless. So he never leveraged his position to punish the people who complained. I don't know if he ever ran out of departments to put her in. Pretty much everyone hated her guts. When I was in high school, my dad had a very public affair and my mom kicked him out of the house. A few days later, he sent an email to the whole family begging us to let him back in the house. He had a line for each kid in the email. My brother and I got a few sentences saying that he missed us, etc. However, he wrote an entire paragraph to my sister, starting with, "I have always had the best connection with you out of all my children." I've since cut him off completely, but that still stings a little. 7 years later. When I was young, me and my sisters had a nanny because my dad worked all the time and didn't trust us alone. But this bitch hated me and didn't try to hide it one bit. She would totally ignore me, take my sisters out and leave me at home. She also more than once said that I wasn't allowed to talk to or be around my sisters. And the best part of this is that I just learned she used to take my sisters aside and tried to make my sisters talk shit about me and how awful I am. The great thing is that my sisters had zero issue with me. It was only her trying to make them hate me. She ended up totally separating me from my family and constantly talking shit to me and getting mad at my sisters if they stood up for me. But ya know, they were loved and taken care of and shit. I don't like her. The middle school gym teacher was a bitch to anyone who wasn't either a jock or a girl. So me and the boys always got the short end of the stick when it came to being put on teams for activities. Because a relay race between the kids that run track and the kids that have the stamina of a level 1 RPG character is a fair race apparently. Glory holes are very illegal in my town, but for some reason that law doesn't apply for my local Benihana. I thought it was weird. But then I found out that my local Benihana's manager made a large donation to our police department. Maybe I'm just being cynical, but that doesn't seem like a coincidence to me. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. See you next time.